Hello students, today we are going to discuss on topic engine lubrication system. So first of all, what is lubrication? So the method of reducing the friction by introducing the substance called lubricant between the mating parts is called lubrication. Now lubrication produces the following effects. First one is the reducing friction effect. The primary purpose of lubrication is to reduce the friction and wear between two rubbing surface. Two rubbing surfaces always produce friction. We know that when the two surfaces are in contact, it will create friction. So two rubbing surface always produces the friction. The continuous friction produces heat, which causes wearing of parts and loss of power. So in order to avoid this friction, the contact of two sliding surface must be reduced as far as possible. So this can be done by proper lubrication oil. The lubrication forms an oil film between two mating parts. Lubrication also reduces noise produced by the movement of two metal surface over each other. Now second effect is the cooling effect. So the heat generated by piston, cylinder and bearing is removed by lubrication to a great extent. Lubrication creates cooling effect on the engine parts. Now third effect is a sealing effect, which means the lubricant enters into the gap between the cylinder liners, piston and piston rings. Thus, it prevents leakage of gases from the engine cylinder. Last is the cleaning effect. Lubrication keeps the engine clean by removing dirt or carbon from inside of the engine along with the oil. So these are the some effects which lubrication produces. Now let's see the objectives. First one is, we know that to reduce the friction, thus increase the efficiency, reduce wear and tear of moving parts, carry away heat, provides sealing action between cylinder and piston rings, thereby it reduces blow by. Next, provide protection against corrosion. Next, lubrication film act as a cushion and reduce the vibration effect. Next is the carrying away the grit and other deposit and provide the cleaning effect. And last is the reduce the noise. So which are the components which needs to be lubricated? So here are the list. First one is the piston and cylinder, main crankshaft bearings, small and big end of bearings, connecting rod, camshaft and its bearings, valve and valve operating mechanism and timing gear. So these are the main components of IC engine which needs to be lubricated. Let's see the types of lubricants. First one is the solid, which includes graphite, molybdenum and mica. Second one is the semi-solid lubricants, which is heavy gases. Third one is the liquid lubricants, which includes mineral oils, vegetable oils and animal oils. Now let's see the properties of lubricants. Which are the properties which must a lubricant needs to be? First one is the viscosity. Viscosity means it is a measure of resistance to flow of an oil. It is measured in Seebolt universal seconds, SUS. Second property is the viscosity index. What is this? The variation of viscosity of an oil with change in temperature is measured by viscosity index. Smaller the variation of viscosity, higher the viscosity index. So viscosity index of paraffin oil is 100. Small change and viscosity index of naphthalenic oil, viscosity index is 0. Next property is the cloud point, which means the temperature at which the oil starts solidifying is called the cloud point. Next is the pure point, which means it is the temperature just below which oil sample will not flow under certain prescribed condition is called its pure point. Sample is cooled until no movement of oil occurs for 5 seconds after the tube is tilted from the vertical to the horizontal. This is how the pure point is measured. Next is the flash point. The flash point is defined as the lowest temperature at which an oil will vaporize sufficiently to form a combustible mixture of oil vapor and air above the surface of the oil. This is called the flash point. How it is found? It is found by heating a quantity of oil in a special container while passing a flame above the liquid to ignite the vapor. A distinct flash of flame occurs when the flash point temperature is reached, and that point is called flash point. Next is the fire point. What is it? Fire point is obtained if the oil is heated further after flash point. Fire point is the temperature at which the oil it once lit with flame will burn steadily at least for 5 seconds. What is this? At after the flash point, if oil is further heated, it will burn steadily at least for 5 seconds, and that point is called fire point. Fire point temperature is usually 10 degrees Celsius higher than the flash temperature. Next is the oiliness. The property of an oil to cling to the metal surface by molecular action and then to provide a very thin layer of lubricant under boundary lubrication condition is called the oiliness or lubricity or film strength. Next is the carbon residue. It is the quantity of carbon residue which remains after the evaporation of a simple oil under specified condition. Next is the detergency. To prevent the formation of deposits, the engine oil has the property of detergency to clean the deposit. This is for the cleanness. It has also the ability of dispersing the particles, preventing them from clothing, and to keep them in a finely divided state. Next one is the foaming. Any violent agitation in the crankcase engine oil to foam, it is because of the presence of air bubbles in the oil. If there are air bubbles, it will create foaming. This action accelerates the oxidation and reduces the mass flow of oil to the bearing and other moving parts, causing insufficient lubrication. So if there are foaming effect produced in the oil crankcase, then it will not lubricate properly and it will not go to the bearings and moving parts for lubrication. Now let's see what is additives and why they are required. So these are the compound added to lubricant to promote and improve their desired properties. Additives are added for some specific purpose to improve or to promote their desired properties of the lubricant. So these are the list of major classes of engine oil additives and their primary function. First one is the detergent dispersant, which includes metallic salt, organic acids. Next is the anti-wear. Next, anti-rust, which includes metal sulfonates, fatty acids and amines. Velocity index improver, which includes butylene polymers, polymerized olefins, isoolefins. Next is the pure point depressant, which includes phenols, esters, alkylated naphthalene. Next one is the anti-foam, which includes silicone polymers, and last one is the antioxidant, which includes zinc, dithiophosphat, sulfur and phosphorus compounds, amine and phenol derivatives. So these are the major classes of engine oil additives. Now let's see the classification based on rating of lubricating oil. First one is the SAE rating. SAE means Society of Automotive Engineers assign the number for gradation of oil based on their viscosity. So based on viscosity, SAE, the Society of Automotive Engineers, graded different oil according to the viscosity index. Second rating is based on API service rating. API means American Petroleum Institute classified the oil based on their property into three classes. They divided into three classes, which is regular, premium and heavy duty type, based on quality and performance of the oil. So for petrol oil, these are the grade SA, SB, SC, SD and SE. For diesel engine, the grade is CA, CB, CC, CD and CE, where A and B stands for light duty and naturally aspirated, while D and E stands for heavy duty and supercharged. So this is how the gradation is done by API service rating. Now let's talk about the lubrication system, the type of lubrication system. The first one is the mixed lubrication system, which is for two-stroke petrol engine. It is employed in two-stroke petrol engine. In this system, the petrol and lubricating oil are previously mixed in fuel tank from where it is supplied to the carburetor. So in mixed lubrication system, the lubricating oil is mixed with the petrol in the petrol tank, and from that they will transfer to the carburetor. So the proportion is 2 to 3%. It provides lubrication to cylinder, piston rings and connecting rod bearing via the crankcase. Also, the separate lubrication is provided to those parts of engine where the mixture of oil and petrol cannot reach, or in case it gives unsatisfactory lubrication. For that purpose, the separate lubrication is provided. Now, advantages of meshed lubrication system. It is economical and cheap. No oil pump, filter and oil carrying pipe is required. Quantity of oil is automatically regulated with load and the speed. Probability of lubrication failure are very least. Now, what are disadvantages of meshed lubrication system? So first one is the carbon deposits and burning of oil film. This is because the oil is mixed with the petrol and they are sent to the carburetor. So for that reason, carbon deposits are formed during burning. Fouling of spark plug increase maintenance cost. Oil consumption is high. Rather, the engine is usually over oiled. During long duration of no load, due to almost closed throttle valve, engine mating parts may not get adequate lubrication oil. So these are the advantages of meshed lubrication system. Now, second type of lubrication is the wet sump lubrication system, which is at the bottom of crankcase containing an oil pan. Oil pump supply the oil to the engine parts. In wet sump lubrication system, the oil is stored in the crankcase system, which is the bottom part of the engine, and the oil pump supplies the oil from the crankcase to the engine parts. So there are the three types of wet sump lubrication system. First one is this splash lubrication system. Second one is the splash and pressure feed system. Third one is the fully pressure feed system. We will discuss one by one. Here it is. The first one, splash lubrication system. This is the diagram. This is the engine, the piston, the connecting rod. This is the crankcase. The lower portion you can see is called crankcase of the engine. This is the oil storage. Here is oil stored. This is oil strainer, oil pump. These are the oil troughs, main bearings of the connecting rod. Okay. Now, what happened? It is suitable for small capacity 4-stroke engine which with moderate speed and bearing. Now, you can see the big eye of connecting rod is facilitated with this scoop. This is the big eye, and it is called small eye of the connecting rod. So big eye of connecting rod is facilitated with scoop dipping. There is one attachment. This is called scoop. So big eye of connecting rod is facilitated with the scoop dipping into troughs to splash the oil. Now, when the piston moves from TDC to BDC up down, the connecting rod also move from up and down. So when the connecting rods comes down, it dips into these oil troughs and splashes the oil through the various parts of the engine, which is piston, crankshaft, connecting rod bearings. So all the parts are lubricated by this splashing effect, which is due to the movement of the connecting rod up and down, and there is a one facilitated scoop which is attached at the big eye of the connecting rod. So oil pump is employed to maintain the level of oil in oil troughs. So in these oil troughs, the level of oil is maintained with the help of this oil pump provided. And here is the oil pressure gauge which maintains the oil pressure in the sump. So this is how splash lubrication system works. Piston moves from up down. The big eye of connecting rod splashes the oil through the oil troughs to the various parts of the engine. Now, second is the splash and pressure feed system. First of all, let's see the construction of splash and pressure feed system. This is same, but there is one change, that here oil strainer, oil pump, and the oil pump is connected through these main channels. This is the channel line. This is main bearing. These all lines are channel which supplied lubricating oil. Let's see how it works. Splash system is not sufficient in case of bearing loads are high. So in that case, splash and pressure feed system may be used. The oil pump also supplied oil under pressure to pipes. These are the pipes. the, the channel, which are the pipes which supplied oil from the oil sump, which is pumped, and the pumping oil is supplied to the various parts of the engine, the main bearings, engine piston cylinder, the connecting rod bearings, all are lubricated with the help of the oil piping. These are the piping system. So the oil pump also supplied oil under pressure to pipes, which directs a stream of oil against the dippers on the connecting rod bearings, and the other parts of the engine are lubricated by splash of oil thrown up by the dippers. So the bearings are lubricated with the help of oil pipe, and the other parts which remains unlubricated are lubricated with the help of the dippers. So when the connecting rod splashes, the other parts are lubricated. So this is the combination of splash plus pressure. That's why it's called splash and pressure fed system. Okay, number 3, the fully pressure fed system. This is suitable for heavy duty engines. The oil from sump is drawn by pump through filter, and it is forced to main bearings through the branches of the distributor header. Here it is the diagram. This is the oil strainer, oil pump. Oil pump will send oil first to this header line. From this header line, it is then circulated over the other parts. So this is the header line, main header line, from there sub branches are divided. Header line, which supplies oil to the main bearings of the connecting rod, which are lubricated with the help of the pump. So what happened? The oil from the sump is drawn by the pump through the filter, and it is forced to main bearings through the branches of the distributor header. Drilled passage help to provide lubricating oil from the main bearing to the crank pin, and it lubricates the big end bearing. So there are drilled holes which provides lubrication of the big eye of the connecting rod. The oil is lubricated main bearing. First of all, oil will lubricate the main bearing, and there is one drill holes are provided to lubricate the big end of the connecting rod. So these connecting rod ends are lubricated with the help of the drill holes, which is provided while manufacturing. So main bearings are lubricated with the oil pump, and the bearing big ends, connecting rod big ends bearings are lubricated with the drill holes. So the drill passage help to provide lubricating oil from the main bearing to the crank pin, and lubricate the big end bearing. So the oil from the big end bearing is supplied to small end bearing through the drill passage in the connecting rod. The lubrication of cylinder wall and the rocker arm is done by the oil spray thrown by crankshaft and the connecting rod. So the other parts, which are cylinder wall and the rocker arm, is lubricated with the help of oil spray thrown by crankshaft and the connecting rod. So this is how fully pressure fed system works. Next one, the third one, is the dry sump lubrication system, in which lubricating oil is maintained in a separate tank kept behind the radiator. There is a separate tank provided for this, which is kept behind the radiator. Oil is kept cool because of air blast thrown on the radiator. Due to less temperature, permits the use of thinner oil, which reduce the friction. This is how dry sump lubrication diagram. This is the dry sump strainer. This is the scavenging pump, which is a gear type pump. There is a filter which filters the oil, and it transfers the filter oil to this oil reservoir where the oil is stored. There is one ventilation system is provided, and from oil reservoir it is again pumped with the help of this oiled gear pump. This is the gear pump arrangement. There are 2 spur gears which act as a gear pump. There is one filter. So while the pumping, the oil will get some heat. The temperature of oil lubricant will increase. So to cool down that oil, there is one oil cooler is provided before it enters through the bearings. So these all arrangement are provided behind the radiator, and the oil is kept cool. The reason is air blast thrown on the radiator. So already there is one air blast on the radiator, so oil must be kept cool due to this reason. So due to less temperature, permits the use of thinner oil, which reduce the friction. The thinner oil is used for this dry sump lubrication system. So this is how dry sump lubrication works. Now if you have any questions and query regarding this topic, please mention it on comment section below. I'll try to solve it as early as possible. Thank you.